Hello again and welcome to Spotlight, the interview show on RT. I'm Algrinov, and today my guest in the studio is Aleksandr Shubin. The internet today is a place where almost any media is available for free. For content providers, this is a problem. It costs money to make movies, music and games, so they want protection for their investment. The conundrum is how this can be achieved without restricting freedom of information and ideas. So, can there be a compromise, or the information battle is set to run forever? We're asking one of the leaders of the Russian pirate party that advocates complete freedom of the internet, Aleksandr Shubin.
During the last 5 years, the world has seen the rise of the so-called pirate parties. These are groups struggling to reform copyright and patent laws in favor of the free transfer of information. At the moment, there are pirate parties in about 40 countries around the globe. Some of the European ones take part in local legislatures, and the Swedish party even has 2 seats in the European Parliament. Most of the world's pirate parties supported recent protests against the SOPA and the PIPA bills heard in the US Congress. They claimed they were a threat to freedom of information and an attempt to introduce censorship in the internet.
Hello, Mr. Shubin, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for being with us today. Well, first of all, I would like you to comment on the situation that we see in the United States. The draft laws, I mean the SOPA and PIPA. Why did these laws, why did the discussion of these laws provoke such an outrage? How could it change the lives of the ordinary Americans if they are finally passed?
Not only ordinary Americans. And I think for us it's very important that America now is something like capital of the world, and what they do, they after some time it's involved on our situation and our life. And we know that internet is basing some part of internet basing on America, and if they organize this new totalitarian rules of game there, it will be here. And of course it's very dangerous that they try step by step, attempt after attempt to make this totalitarian control on the internet. And we know the first actions, including arresting of people, for example in New Zealand we know these events. So of course we are protesting. And of course we understand that it is not...
But you're protesting, you're not protecting Americans, you're trying to protect the Russians.
We want to protect everybody. 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 Now we are living in the world. And people who are living inside the internet, they are living in the world, not only in Russia or in America. And we are living in a new reality. And in this reality, we protecting ourselves.
In a new virtual reality. Well, it is
a new reality, because virtual reality is part of reality and maybe dominating part of the reality today.
This is very sad. To hear.
Why not? Why sad? Maybe not, because intellectual life is life in the books, in the internet, and it is very important, intellectual life.
Well, it's very true too, right.
Yes, and to the SOPA and PIPA, it's not first attempt, and it is not last attempt. It is part of big battle between grassroots networks, civil society from one side, and these authoritarian people in states, bureaucracies, transnational corporations, and of course in internet manipulating structures, which want to make such a law that before court they can arrest resource. So it is Stalinism, new Stalinism, not less.
Okay.
And of course we are against.
Okay, well on the 18th of January, more than 150,000 websites somehow altered their web pages or went offline protesting against US anti-piracy legislation. Spotlight's Elena Demidova has more on the biggest online protest in internet history.
For many internet users around the world, January 18th was a day when their favorite web pages were blacked out or changed. It was also the day when they learned 2 new acronyms, SOPA and PIPA, abbreviations of the controversial American anti-piracy bills. the Stop Online Piracy Act, SOPA, and Protect Internet Privacy Act, PIPA, were making their way through the US Congress. Those opposing the laws claim their provisions have been written so broadly that they could eventually lead to censorship on the net and harm millions of innocent users. Internet giants such as Google and YouTube likened the bills to Chinese-style media control. The online protest meant some of Internet's largest and most popular resources, like Wikipedia, shut down for 24 hours. The next day, peaceful online protest gave way to a massive hacker attack when the group Anonymous crippled US government and entertainment industry sites, a response to the closure of the popular file-sharing website Mega Upload. Advocates of online freedom celebrated on January 20th when the US Congress announced it would indefinitely postpone voting on SOPA and PIPA. The controversial legislation will now be rewritten in the hope of finding a better balance between online freedom and copyright protection. But a compromise that suits everyone will be almost impossible to find, making round 2 of the battle for the Internet a near certainty.
Well, you and your friends, your colleagues are trying to fight the SOPA-PIPA bills today, but despite the decision on the bills, the US authorities have closed down the Mega Upload, one of the biggest file-sharing sites in the world. So doesn't that mean that the existing legislation is enough to fight piracy in the net? So why do you have to fight the SOPA-PIPA, and why do they need the SOPA-PIPA? Well, what's it all about?
Well, first of all, our totalitarian enemies try to attack in different ways, and of course with SOPA-PIPA it will be more useful to attack for them. And
easier.
Because this Mega Upload deal, it is really Stalinistic practice too, because it is a field, this Mega Upload. You can give. It is the same as to arrest big market, because some people came there and do something not according to the law.
You know, I would suggest to compare it with, you know, we once, I don't know if it still exists, when I was a kid, we have these places in Moscow where we exchange stamps.
For example.
Yes. We came just for exchange, and even the Soviets couldn't close them because we were not trading.
Yes.
We were
so
just
it is a totalitarian practice. But we must resist in this way, in this way, in this way. It is a big battlefield, including, by the way, Russia too, because in Russia we have big troubles with these problems too. We know because some structures want to control internet, and some structures want to, for example, arrest you because in your computer is something without paper that you buy it very
so
poorly.
far we have heard about serious problems, internet problems in China, yes, but do you really, as a member of this pirate party, do you really see any serious threats to internet freedom in Russia? Are you serious about that?
Yes, because we know some cases, for example, in Krasnodar region, when some ecological activists had very big problems, according criminal problems, because their computers were arrested because some product inside this computer was not, they have not any papers to have this product. In this way, every civil activist can be arrested, so can be put in court in modern reality. And of course we are against, because it's not a problem of money, really, it's a problem of control.
What's wrong with copyright?
What's wrong with copyright? For example, I'm author. And I don't afraid of if somebody can copy my book in internet. Why? Because my copyright for me is that my name must be mentioned if my idea is in use. But the problem of money in this situation, I don't think about it so deeply that, oh, it is big problem for me as an author. Because if my book is internet, of course, much more people want to buy it in reality in a shop. Much more people, because they prefer, for example, have it in library, to read it in paper variant. So I understand that it is a problem of very little part of producers,
I see.
and I'm not their supporter as an author.
So you are not against books being freely published in the internet,
Yes.
Including your own books.
Yes.
I saw dozens of them today in the net for free. But you want your copyright still to exist for you to be able to sell them. Okay.
Not to sell. Not only to sell.
To market. To what?
My main interest in copyright as an author is my name must be mentioned if it is in use.
Okay.
But sell, it's not my problem.
Says Aleksandr Shubin, one of the leaders of the Russian Pirate Party. Spotlight will be back shortly after a break, so stay with us. Don't go.
A soulless substance, but it can attack like a well-trained army. Villages in ruins, fertile land where time stands still. All becomes a sea of nothingness. The mysterious sands of Russia on RT.
I was shot 4 times in total, and I have 1 exit wound. 3 of the bullets are still in my body.
And people should be allowed to defend themselves wherever they are. Guns in the hands of law-abiding, decent people are not a problem.
National Rifle Association was a group of basically retired military and police who love to shoot holes in paper.
I'm sorry, if you know that the bullet comes out here and this makes it go bang, and that what's in front of here is going to die, that's all the training you really, really need.
Raise your hand if you know somebody who's been shot. Okay.
You can't live without water. In Philadelphia, on these urban streets, you can't live without a gun.
Hopefully we will never have to use the weapons for self-defense, but we should be prepared.
The full class, including the teacher, I think was 17 students. And I think I am one of 7 who are still alive.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Algrinov, and just a reminder that my guest on the show today is Aleksandr Shubin, one of the leaders of the Russian Pirate Party. Mr. Shubin, you said that you have nothing against your books being freely available in the internet. But how will authors make their living if their books are available for free? I mean, this is absurd.
Really, we have 3 ways very good for authors. And for me, as an author, I have more than 20 books, so I am involved in this problem. First of all, advertisement is a motor of trade. And internet don't crush trade of goods which you can have in your hands. And very big part of people want to have book as a reality, not only the text in the computer. For example, I can say that our intellectual literature in Russia now have 3,000 copies, 5,000 copies a book. And we have millions of people. And of course, if my book will be widespread in internet, more people want to buy it, not less. It's first. Second, for example, imagine I want to write 3 books. And I put on internet 3 web money and say, if you pay for this web money, I will promote, I will work with this book more quickly, and with this not so quickly. And it is free choice for people who want to read my books. And without any editorial, by the way. It is directly, of course, it is more useful for me.
Okay, I want to ask you a couple of questions about your party in general. Well, pirates, the Pirate Party, we know pirate parties in Europe, are associated primarily with fighting for freedom of information and against copyright laws. But what is your broader vision of a society you want to live in? Because as far as we understand, today, under the new, more liberal laws, you are getting ready to become a real political party in Russia.
Really, we are, of course, a real political party with very wide program, and now we are working for more concrete program, of course, but we have ideas about everything, as all parties, I think, all real parties. And our key idea is not this copyright problem. Our key idea is computer democracy. Electronic democracy. We are, for example, in future against parliament, because we think that really all decision can be realizing in internet votation.
So you believe that the internet really is capable of changing the way politics is done? Is
all
that
politics,
right?
yes.
Really?
And we are not right party, and we are not extremely left party, because we have some elements, for example, of socialist ideas of self-management, direct democracy, economical democracy, some ideas, of course, of freedom, individual freedom. And we are party of future. And this electronic democracy, this computer democracy, can involve on economical planning, but it will be very free, very democratical planning, indicative planning. It is democracy inside big corporations, democracy, of course, inside the state. And we promoting these ideas, and we now really make platforms for which are using, now pirates organize internet platform, and now our civil societies are voting for their civil council. Now it's organized in Moscow. By this, our pirate platform.
So you're working on the platforms, you're working on technologies that will allow citizens to effectively control the government. You mean the internet is really closing the gap between the governors and the governed. Is that right?
First of all, to control government, but second, to really to vote for laws. Ordinary people must vote for laws, not deputies.
Listen, why do we need a pirate party to fight for these principles? Aren't the existing parties enough to include these?
They are very old for this. They are very old. No Communist Party, no Единая Россия, no Spravo Rossi and
the
others.
Right, the left.
Right?
They're not interested.
They don't interested in this. They are for old forms. They are like feudal parties in times of bourgeois revolution.
Okay, so
they are for
I got
forms.
you. Okay, so then how would you explain the success of the pirate parties in Germany, in Sweden, and does that inspire you?
It's because of this that we are only one party of future. Now, this old world in a deep crisis, in a puffin, and nobody knows how to go out of this puffin. Only Pirate Party make a program for future society, post-industrial society.
I would say, I had another explanation. My explanation is that maybe in countries like Denmark, Sweden, Germany, people got a little bit sick and tired of politics. They don't distinguish between different parties, the moderate left and the moderate right, and the Pirate Party is the only party that talks to people about something that they're interested in, and they're really calling for a real change somewhere.
If in this case, maybe we would have majority, but we have no majority. Majority of people don't like old parties. Yes, it is. But we have no majority even in Germany, you know. So we have really our own sector. Our own sector of voters who really support this new point of view, new topics of discussion. And maybe it's not majority, but it is real voters who don't want to have some fun, not only, but they want real new discussion.
Alexander, you mentioned the Russian president meeting with some members of your party, among other people. Also, the Russian communication minister, a very influential man in the field, Mr. Shogalev, he visited one of your meetings, one of your gatherings. Well, did this inspire you, and to which extent, according to your understanding, is he sharing your ideas, or is he?
I think that our state now have very big lack of new ideas and
lack of new ideas.
Yes, they are searching for something new, and I think this.
Well, they're talking about innovation all the time,
but they don't know what is it. They make this Skolkovo, don't want to what to do with this. Or maybe to spend money. Of course, it's a good idea to spend money for them, but they don't know what to realize, and we know. But, of course, this visit of Shogalev, it was unofficial. It was unofficial. We gathered in a bookstore. It was in our staff quarter, and he said that, oh, I went to buy some books. Oh, you are Pirate Party, how is interesting. But really, of course, it was not only incident. And it was a real discussion there. And main point of the discussion was that we said we need now this computer democracy, and we have concrete ideas how to realize it in all spheres. And he answered that maybe it's very interesting, but we have no society which want this computer democracy from the state. Society don't want. And we ask why, how you know.
So people don't want free movies on the internet, they want to pay. This is strange.
No. Electronic democracy is something another. They don't vote. They don't influence.
You're talking about.
They don't want democracy.
Well, I think I would be on your side rather than on Shogalev's side in this discussion, because, as we remember, most of the people gathered during these rallies after the last elections in the center of Moscow, then on Sakharova. The great rallies were gathered through the internet, through Facebook, through computer, and this is computer democracy, so it does exist.
These people are on our side, and we ask Shogalev, why you want, why you know, how you can know? You know nothing about your people, about people who are living in provinces, what they want. And these ideas of electronic democracy and free exchange of influences can make society more general, more consolidated, by the way. Now we have split society, and nobody knows what real Russian citizens want from the state.
Well, I'm not sure the internet will give us an idea of what the Russian citizens...
It is one of the ways.
It's biased.
Because...
internet voting is biased, as any other voting, probably.
Not really. Because if you make through internet elections of deputy, of course it is really a competition of money, competition of images and so on. But in real electronic democracy, people discuss the law in internet. They don't discuss deputies. They discuss the law.
Well,
it's another.
This is another thing, is because when you talk about elections of MPs, well, it's like finding a wife through the internet. Very few people really find themselves a spouse through the net, because you can't find something real through virtual reality.
Your potential members of Pirate Party, because we are criticized these elections first of all.
Okay, well, the Ministry of Justice refused to register your party because of the word pirate. They say piracy is something illegal, so you shouldn't keep this in the name of the party. Will you stick to that word piracy, or are you ready to drop it in order to become legal?
First of all, we think that it is not according to the law, because their letter was that pirates are the people who was accused in court because of banditism in the sea. We say, we are not. So you must, you have some craziness in your head. So we want to struggle, to have a struggle for our name. But, of course, we are real politicians and we understand that our state don't think about law all the time. And we maybe can change one letter. And if we will be, for example, not Pиратская party, but Пиратская party, they couldn't prove that we are these pirates who is in Somalia, for example.
With an S instead of a C. Well,
everybody can understand.
That's clever. Thank you very much. It was very nice talking to you. And just a reminder that my guest today was Aleksandr Shubin, one of the leaders of the Russian Pirate Party. And that's it for now from all of us here. If you want to have your say on Spotlight, drop me a line. Spotlight will be back with more first-hand comments on what's going on in and outside Russia. Until then, stay on RT and take care.
Thank you.